And just know that if my kids go out with you and they don't return and you've got no answers, baby, please understand, your whole family is going to be just as sad as I am. We're going to be picking out caskets together. They might give us the 2-for-1 deal because, baby, whatever happens to mine in your presence will happen to you if you ain't got a story to tell me. Nigga, what?
This is the exact reason I tell my kids, friend or no friend, you can't trust anybody. How is it possible for a group of friends to go to Mississippi's Horn Island, but when they come back home, they come back without somebody that they went with? And they're going to say race ain't play a part. You see everybody in this picture right here. Tell me what looks different. Tell me. You had an 18-year-old accomplished football star, Nolan Wells, goes to Mississippi Horns Island with his friends on the 4th of July. And then he turns up missing. Mind you, all of his friends make it home safe. And the person that went with them, Nolan Xavier Wells, he's missing. And nobody has nothing to say about that. You have his so-called friends saying that they don't remember anything. They don't remember seeing what happened to him. Mind you, they have pictures on the boat. Mind you, they have pictures together. But nobody knows what happened to him. Now you got the Coast Guard, sheriff deputies, Marine units, and multiple agencies searching for him right now. They're searching the waters, searching surrounding areas, trying to figure out what happened. They're also saying that the last time he was seen with a team. They're also saying that they found his phone, but they didn't find him. What team do you know right now would leave his phone behind? Tell me that. But you see how all of this sounds? This is why disappearances like this and places like this always leave people questioning. If you spend time looking into missing person cases like this, then you already know what may be the outcome. Do you understand how this young man's parents has to feel? They just want their kid back. We definitely need to spread the word about this. We need some answers. This shit is crazy.
They did it. As soon as I saw this picture, first thought of my mind was these motherfuckers killed that kid. It was literally the first thought I had in my head. I fucking hate you racist pieces of shit. They did find his body, so we'll have to wait and hear what the coroner has to say. But knowing how the cops operate, they'll probably rule it a suicide. Just like they did that black kid that hung himself with 2 broken legs. Yeah, that happened too. That was last year. They claimed a kid with 2 broken legs hung himself. You white supremacist motherfuckers got another thing coming. Because you're going to have to deal with people like me.
As a white woman who grew up in a predominantly black area, where I've definitely been the only white person in the room on lots and lots and lots of occasions, I've never been in fear. I've never been afraid. I've never been worried about my safety. With that being said, as a white woman with biracial children, I don't give a fuck if it's their cousins. My boys will not be the only black child in the room. They won't.
As a white individual, I don't even hang out with white people like that. Anytime a group of Caucasians have accumulated in a designated area, something bad's going to happen. And as a black person or a person of color, you don't need to be there. You don't. White people aren't safe. If you are the only black individual in that friend group, you don't need to be in that friend group. Get the fuck out of that friend group. What happened to Nolan Wells could happen to you. And I don't care how much evidence that law enforcement agency covers up and hides. If they classify him as a suicide or an accidental death, we all know that his friends, his supposed friends, they murdered him. There are so many black individuals who recently have been classified as suicides. We all know that they were lynched. Why? Because white people did something terrible and the law enforcement agency covered that shit up. Stop hanging out with white people. We are not safe. And unfortunately, under this administration, white individuals who have racist tendencies and who are racist, they feel emboldened enough that they know that they are going to get away with it. Stop hanging out with white people. Stop doing it. And trust me, I'm not offended if you are a black individual and you don't come near me and talk to me or any of that. You don't need to give me your time. Trust me, while I know I am a safe individual, you don't know I'm a safe individual. And while I try my best to outwardly say I am a safe individual, plenty of racist people say the same thing, and look how it ends up. Stop trusting white people.
Good people, welcome back to the Bantu Merchant. Sometimes a story isn't just about one person. Sometimes it becomes a mirror reflecting everything a country fears, everything it remembers, and everything it still hasn't resolved. That is why the death of Nolan Wells has shaken so many people across Black America. From the African continent, we've watched thousands of videos, read countless comments, and listened to voices from every background. Black Americans, white Americans, parents, veterans, lawyers, and ordinary citizens are all asking the same questions. What really happened? According to authorities, the investigation is ongoing, but on social media, many people have already reached conclusions of their own. Some believe Nolan's death deserves far more scrutiny than it has received. Others argue that people should wait for investigations to establish the facts. That divide has become almost as significant as this tragedy itself. Among many Black Americans, one emotion rises above all others: distrust. Not simply grief, not simply anger, distrust. Many say this case reminds them of other deaths involving young Black Americans where they felt the truth was never fully uncovered. Whether those comparisons are ultimately justified or not, they reveal something important. Millions of people no longer assume the justice system will earn their confidence. Instead, many begin from the opposite assumption that they must demand transparency before they can believe the outcome. Another theme appears repeatedly across social media. Many creators warn Black families about the risk of being the only Black person in predominantly white social circles. Some white Americans have echoed that concern as well, saying they will not want their own biracial children to be isolated in situations where they might feel vulnerable. These opinions reflect fear and lived experience, but they are opinions, not established facts about every situation or every friendship.
The autopsy of Nolan Wells is allegedly supposed to happen today. And I got a little bit more information for y'all. These are the Instagrams of Nolan's friends that left him for dead. Well, fuck left him for dead. They killed him. This is Jax, Eric, Warren, Wyatt, who I keep getting information that they deactivated their Instagrams, but they're not deactivated. They just are set on private mode. And all of these boys have lawyered up. They lawyered up like yesterday. But I think people don't realize this just happened on the 4th of July. They are already lawyered up. For what, though? You didn't do anything. Why are you lawyered up? They had a fight with Nolan right before he died. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. For what? I don't know. So an altercation happened before they were fighting. I mean, before he died. And remember, these are teenage boys. They was drinking and all that. And when white boys drink, they get real racist. You know how, like, they say a sober mind or whatever the fuck they say. There's also some misinformation out there like, oh, one of their friends' moms is a judge. That is partly true. It's not his mom, it's his stepmom, and it's her Facebook. Now, this is Ashley Cole. I know the picture's a little bit blurry, but this is her Facebook. These are the kids of judges, doctors. Oh, let me show y'all Warren's dad. Hold on. This is Warren's dad. Hey, Ben. He's a doctor in emergency medicine. These kids are the kids of doctors, lawyers, judges. So if you think for a moment that justice is going to be served in this instance that we all have seen time and time again, you can think again, baby. Also, when I addressed the story, his friends was telling like, oh, he stayed behind for a girl. This is what happened. The girl name is Katie, right? Here's the thing, though. Y'all can say what y'all want about the girl. Oh, who is this girl? Her name Katie. Her picture right there. He met Katie. He did not know Katie before that day. He met Katie. They talked. They chilled for a second. But Katie separated from him and, assumed he was going to go back with his friend. Katie's story is the only story that did not change. His friend's story changed. First they said, oh, we thought he got a ride. Then they said, oh, we thought he left with a girl. Katie's story has been consistent the entire time. And she's the only one cooperating with authorities. All the other people got lawyers. Now, this is a message from Katie's mom. She posted it on Facebook. On TikTok, they were saying, it's real encrypted. Why did your brother-in-law have to go get her? Y'all can read it and do what y'all want with it. See if she's telling the truth or not. Allegedly, the autopsy is being done today, but this is my suggestion to his mom: get your own autopsy. Get your own autopsy done. Hire your own private investigator. Cause you let them people do it, they're going to fuck you over more than you already have. I couldn't even sleep last night researching this information about Nolan. It was unsettling. So I can only imagine how the mom feels. She lost her son. Do your own autopsy. Get your own private investigator, because these people are going to bury your son more than you already have to. They are going to bury this like they do every other story that happens just like this. I know y'all remember this. Remember that black girl went to a sleepover with all her white friends and never came the fuck back? None of the friends don't know what we still don't know what happened to that lady. They don't know what happened. Nobody know nothing. Just gone. All we know is she went to a sleepover with all her white friends, bitch, and never returned. They also want to add, they killed him early in the day on the 4th of July and then continued to party, drink, and watch the fireworks later that night. It's not like, oh, they killed him and then went home. They killed him and continued to party during the 4th of July. They come earlier in the day, continue to drink, continue later on, watch the fireworks, high-five each other like nothing fucking happened. Like they did not just kill their friend. These fucking white people are crazy.
I honestly would just love to know what excuse some of y'all got for this one. This is Ike Piron. Okay, welcome me for a second. Ike Piron is the little brother of Wyatt Piron. And Wyatt Piron is one of the friends that was on the boat with Nolan. This screen grab from Snapchat has been going around. Law enforcement probably isn't going to show us this, but I can attest to you that this is real. But let me just say, allegedly, he said this. Ike sent this message to one of his friends. He said, I see you reposted this, so I wanted to let you know what really happened. Can't be listening to all these black people saying his friends did something. He was with my brother that day on the boat and he chose to stay. They know who the girl is. It happens on Horn all the time. These guys posting this shit on TikTok are all worthless blacks who want nothing but views. Nolan has basically lived at my house for the last 3 years. We would never do anything to harm him. How are you going to say you would never do anything to harm Nolan, but in the same breath, you're going to just say, worthless blacks? And these worthless blacks are trying to advocate and share Nolan's story. And it's far more, because I've been getting comments from like local people like, stop talking about it. Like there's some other girl, I'll put her right here. There's some other girl who was like, you need to stop talking about this. I went to school with them. Why are we, us strangers, doing more, advocating more for Nolan than some of the people, not everybody, but some of these people who are commenting and talking crazy on the internet? And then yes, Ike Piron, who is related to Wyatt Piron. Yep, that's him. Make it make sense. How are you going to call us worthless blacks, but in the same breath you're going to say we would never do anything to Nolan, we care about him, this and that? And I know there's going to be someone in the comments who, oh my god, you people are just this and that, you're trying to make it all about race, this and that. Let me said, if you want to question how real this is, she said, it's his little brother. I have the same screenshot from my daughter's phone. I'm so ready for some justice for Nolan. All I can say is disappointed, but not surprised. These people are unapologetically racist, and everything that is in the dark will come to light.
I had to stop real quick. Any white folks, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to just leave this video. This won't be the video for you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, black folks, let me tell your ass something. Specifically black parents. Have you ever seen a white parent let they only white male child go on vacation with 3-4 other black motherfuckers? Think about it. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen one token white motherfucker go on vacation with 3 or 4 black motherfuckers? Have you ever seen that shit? Because I don't think I have, and I've been on this motherfucking world for goddamn 38 goddamn years. I don't think I have. So why the fuck would you let your only black, not only, but you let your only fucking, your black boy go on vacation with 4 white motherfuckers during this presidency? Why the fuck would you let that happen? They sacrificed that boy. And I don't give a fuck what the autopsy report come back drowned. They sacrificed that boy. Let's be fucking real. Because that's their culture. That's what the motherfuckers do. They shoot deer and all type of shit, kill shit every motherfucking day. Look through them kids' phone, you will see them playing in that shit. Look through them kids' phone, you will see them playing in that shit. But they gonna protect them. And there ain't gonna be a motherfucking thing we gonna be able to do about that shit. Because they trying to start something. That's what the fuck they doing. They got judges and all type of shit as they fathers and all type of shit. Didn't even report the boy missing until they got home. That was the parents and all the motherfuckers colluding together. That's what the fuck they was doing. Now that boy up out of here because we got silly ass people that don't talk to their motherfucking kids. Tell their motherfucking ass what the fuck going on in this motherfucking world. Trying to coddle them and shit. Steady coddling these motherfuckers. No, tell them what the fuck is going on in this motherfucking world. 4 white motherfuckers with 1 black kid. You fucking crazy? Like, this shit is about to drive me insane, low-key. For real. For real. For real. But what the fuck gonna happen when little white boys go missing? When they go on trips? But it ain't gonna happen because white parents don't do no stupid shit like that. Motherfuckers wanna act like y'all them or something. Wanna go and be them and talk like them and all that shit like them. And when they get more emboldened because this bitch ass administration. The other fucking day, I just saw some shit where it looked like a white kid, I don't know, slapped the shit out of TJ, the rapper. You wanna know why he did that? Cause he said to himself, ain't shit gonna happen to me. Y'all rappers, all y'all motherfuckers need to stop hanging out with these motherfuckers, giving them clout, hanging around these weird ass motherfuckers. Y'all get rid of y'all real friends and then hang around these weird ass motherfuckers because they got a little change. Get y'all motherfucking act together. Get your goddamn act together, bitch. And realize what the fuck going on in this world. Open your motherfucking eyes, motherfucker. Rest in peace to Nolan, man.
You would think that after Nolan Wells was pronounced unalive and his body was found, his friends would be putting out posts saying, rest in peace, oh my God, something. But no, everybody is dead silent. Every last person that was there has deleted their Instagram, their Facebook, their social media. Everybody's gone quiet, including the parents, okay, y'all? Including the parents, including a judge, okay, attached to one of those kids. Everybody's going media silent. It only raises questions about this video that was being circulated on the internet with Nolan on the beach with those friends, and there's an argument that breaks out, okay? Nolan is standing to the side, and there's a group of other kids looking at him. What was that argument about? Katie also spoke with someone saying that she did not get on the boat with Nolan. She got on a boat with someone else because her friends and family told her to get her ass on. Nolan was supposed to get on a boat with his friends. It never happened. She doesn't know what happened. I'm going to say this as honest as possible. If you're the only black person in the friend group, there is a problem. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the victim. That's just it. Now, next up is the autopsy. And I hope they don't use anybody near that fucking place. Use somebody else and make sure they black. Baby, it looks like Nolan's family is not wasting any time. They have retained the services of attorney Ben Crump. And you know when Ben Crump gets in the room, everybody stops moving. Now, if you don't know what happened to Nolan and Xavier Wells, then maybe you've been living under a rock. On July 4th, he went out with these 3 white boys to Horn Island. There was said to be an altercation that happened between him and these guys. And for some reason, Nolan never got in that boat. These 3 white boys returned back to shore without Nolan and without his phone. His mother, Christine, had his phone. Unfortunately, yesterday, Nolan's body was found off the shore of Horn Island. And every last one of his friends, or so-called friends, cleared their social media, even the parents. Now, attorney Ben Crump has stepped in. His law firm will conduct an independent review on the circumstances surrounding Nolan's unaliving. They're seeking answers and transparency. Now, a lot of people are saying that the kids closed off their social media because they probably lowered up. Some people are saying that they lowered up before the body was even found. They're also saying that it looks like to be a drowning. Now, I have a couple of questions. Boys allegedly said that Nolan didn't want to get on the boat with them. And they allegedly said they saw him on shore. Then they say they couldn't find them after 3 p.m. Then people saw them arguing around 5 p.m. Then someone took a picture of all three of the white boys having a good time in the goddamn water. There's a lot of moving parts to this situation that just don't make sense. And we know through Katie's mother that she got on the boat and left, but she did not get on the boat with Nolan. She got on with her other friends. We know with attorney Ben Crump on the move, they're going to get some answers. Let's see what comes next.
Okay, so I'm not a lawyer, but I have some questions for those three raggedy-ass bitches that took Nolan out there to Horn Island and did what I believe them to have done. I have to say allegedly here because I don't have any proof of it. But I have some fucking questions because a lot of this shit ain't making sense. And before I get to those questions, I want to let y'all know that I do believe Horn Island falls under federal jurisdiction, so that would open up federal FOIA as well as state public records requests in case you needed to know. Question number one, how did y'all expect Nolan to get home? If you call yourselves friends, this place is boat access only. You brought him there, which means if you left an 18-year-old on a barrier island that is boat access only with no way off. So if you left, that means you either assumed that he caught a ride or you didn't fucking care. Either way, how did you expect him to get home? Question number two, how much time passed from the last time you saw Nolan physically to the time that you motherfuckers got on the boat to leave? And what were you doing during that time? And then question number three is, when exactly did Nolan become separated from his cell phone? Who had it? And then who returned it to the family? Because see, one thing I know for sure is that he is not voluntarily coming up off his phone on a barrier island hanging out with you motherfuckers. So y'all need to go in and tell the truth and answer these three questions because y'all got a lot of fucking explaining to do even though we already know what the fuck you did, allegedly. But see, in addition to those questions, they also said that Nolan's phone was found on the mainland. If Nolan's phone was found on the mainland, that means that some cell carrier has the pings and the timestamps from his phone on or near Horn Island. That's a timestamp that is very critical to this entire case, and I would want to see that shit if I were a lawyer or an investigator. Oh, and by the way, Mississippi has boat registration. So once you find out what boat those friends used, then you can get the registration number that's tied to an owner. Once you have that, that's tied to insurance records. When you have that, that will tell you whether or not the vessel has GPS and navigation in it. Because if it does, you can subpoena that if you were trying to put together a case. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not saying that that's what I would do. I'm just simply saying that is something that is fucking possible. And then while I was waiting on that GPS information to come back, I would also hit up the Gulf Islands National Seashore Rangers, because they patrol that area as well, and I would want incident reports and activity logs and contact records, anything on the day of July 4th, because again, if I were a lawyer and I were trying to put together a case, this is the type of information that's going to help me in the background. And then while you're sitting in your car after talking to those rangers, I want you to go ahead and hop up on the phone and call Jackson County, because Christine says she reported him missing late Saturday night. So you need to get all of the CAD records. It stands for Computer Aided Dispatch. You need to get all the CAD records from Jackson County on that day, because if no one else called, that's a note worth keeping, don't you think? And then while you're waiting on those dispatch logs, why don't you also call the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, who also had officers on the water that day? Patrol activity, contact records, citations, anything could be of assistance to this, because no matter what, we need to find out every fucking thing that happened for Nolan, for his family. Because I'm telling you right now, this shit is foul play, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying what I believe, and I am speaking out of emotion, and that's protected by the First Amendment. But this shit is foul fucking play. Peace.
If you don't care about what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells because he doesn't look like you, would you feel differently about his friends minimizing his life if the victim looked like this, more like you? What if I told you that this is Nolan Wells's grandmother, which makes Nolan's mother half Asian and Nolan himself a quarter or an Asian person himself? And if you think that couldn't happen to me, that happened to Nolan because he's partially black, then I'm going to remind you of Nancy Ying, the 29-year-old special needs teacher from Alhambra, California, who went missing while she was on a yoga retreat on Lake Adelan, Guatemala, 3 years ago, who just like Nolan Wells put his trust into his white friends thinking that they're just going out for a good time on the water. Nancy Ng also put her trust in her white friend Christina Blazik while going out on the water thinking that they're about to have some fun. But just like Nolan Wells' white friends who all claim that they don't know what happened to Nolan and just thought that he was on another boat, but then as soon as they got back deleted all of their social media accounts, including Warren Hudson here, who up until 9:30 last night still had his profile up but now is gone, and allegedly at least 2 of them immediately lawyered up upon getting home. Christina Blazik, who had told officials in Guatemala that she did not see what happened to Nancy, whether she jumped in or fell into the water, as soon as she returned to the United States, deleted her socials, lawyered up, and through her lawyer tried to claim that they were barely even friends. Which is weird because I didn't realize that people who barely knew each other put their arms around each other's necks and then held each other's hands while taking photos together. Who, once she returned home to America through her lawyer, was like, no, I tried to save her. Oh, by the way, also, Christina and the whole rest of the yoga retreat decided not to even remotely help find Nancy Ng's body and then fled the country the next day before a police investigation could even be officially started. So not only if you care about community, should you also care about what happened to Nolan Wells, because this boy was also Asian. But if you only care about things that happen to people that look exactly like you, that's the problem. Because when we're fighting the same systems of oppression that places people of color systemically second class compared to the white counterparts, it bleeds into societal standards and even into interpersonal relationships. The effect is the same for all of us. And that is that our lives are not valued, which means that our lives are not safe. Demand justice and visibility for Nolan Xavier Wells. One of these has been set up for the family. If you are able, please help them out. You can find it right here. And rest in peace, Nolan Xavier Wells.
The way this country talks about black victims versus white victims is disgusting. Nolan Wells' body was found yesterday off the coast of Mississippi. If you didn't know, he was presumed missing and dead on July 4th. It is America's 250th birthday, and we're still dealing with this bullshit. He was celebrating with his friends for the 4th of July, and there's now circulating video that is going very viral of what looks to be him and his friends that he went with on the beach, and there's an argument. There's yelling happening. In the video, he looks to be very calmly standing still looking at his buddies. And somehow, the conversation is about his behavior. Why wasn't he on the boat? Was he drinking? Was he going from one boat to another? Now, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's kind of morbid, so stick with me, and trigger warning. If I show up dead, washed on a beach, my community of people where I was born are not going to go, well, how was Jake acting? Did he stay where he was supposed to? Did he start an argument with people? No, it's going to go, what the fuck? We have someone that would kill people out here? Jake, I love that guy. He plays for the football team. I'm just putting myself in Nolan's shoes. Nolan plays for the team. He's friends with those people. And the conversation is about his behavior. Just so frustrating. Like, racism is still alive and well just in the dialogue. Just in the dialogue. As simple as that. I just want this country to do better. And I see a future where we just stop with this bullshit and start going like, man, this kid was killed. Like, his on the 4th of July, he is celebrating with everyone. And he can't even do that. We can do better. We gotta do better. Oh, and apparently one of the friends' moms is a local judge. And if you think that will work in Nolan's favor, you clearly don't know anything about the history of young black men in this country. This isn't gonna go anywhere. We have to speak up about it.
What makes this story especially emotional is not only Nolan's death, it is what people believe that the case represents. Online, some commentators allege there was an altercation before Nolan disappeared. Others claim his friends gave inconsistent accounts of what happened afterward. Some have questioned why lawyers were reportedly retained so quickly. Others have raised concerns about whether influential families connected to people in the case could affect public confidence in the investigation. At this stage, these remain allegations circulating publicly, and investigators have not established them as fact. Still, the public conversation has grown louder. Many people are urging Nolan's family to seek an independent autopsy and private investigators alongside the official investigations, not because that proves wrongdoing, but because they believe independent reviews can strengthen public confidence in the findings. Another issue has sparked intense debate: victim blaming. Many commentators argue that when the victim is black, public discussion often shifts towards questioning the victim's decisions. Was he drinking? Was he there? Why was he there? Where did he live? Critics say that if the roles were reversed, more attention might immediately focus on finding whoever was responsible rather than examining the victim's choices. Whether one agrees with that view or not, it reflects a perception shared by many Americans and deserves to be part of the broader conversation. Here in Africa, these debates sound familiar. History has taught many societies that once people lose trust in institutions, every investigation becomes more than an investigation. It becomes a test of whether justice can be seen as fair, a test of whether every family receives equal treatment, a test of whether the truth matters more than power. That is why this case has reached far beyond Mississippi. People are not only mourning a young man's death, they are asking whether justice works the same for everyone. Until investigators complete their work, there will continue to be competing narratives. But one thing should unite everyone, regardless of race or politics. Nolan Wells' family deserves clear answers. The public deserves a transparent investigation, and every conclusion should rest on evidence, not assumptions, not rumors, and not pressure from either side. Because in the end, the truth is the only strong enough to bring justice. And if America wants people to trust its institutions, then those institutions must show beyond any reasonable doubt that every life carries the same value under the law. The world is watching, not to see who wins an argument, but to see whether the truth can still prevail. Now, good people, as I come to the end of this video, my honest take about this, and I will agree with most of the commentators, to my black brothers and sisters out there in the States, you know, there has been a lot of tension between the black Americans and white Americans for years. And one thing that you should take note is if you're going out as a black person and the friend group is comprising of all white people, even there is a white mother who says that she was raised in a predominantly black community, but she cannot trust her kids to go out with her white cousins. Why? Because knows what's going to happen. I'm not trying to frame any race badly, but take note of that. And some of these commentators have given truly real experience. So guys, I don't know what you think about this, but I'd like us to have the conversation going on in the comments. So remember to leave a comment below, tell me what you think, and don't forget to like so that the algorithm can push this video further. And then last but not least, share this with someone who might need to hear it. And then most importantly, guys, subscribe. Tempt me to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one.